Hi, boys and girls. We're at the end of Mr. Sunny is Funny. Chapter 12, AJ to the Rescue. I ran towards the ocean and jumped into the waves, and I swam as fast as I could. Finally, I found Andrea under the water. She was heavy. I picked her up and dragged her back to the beach. She was lying on the sand with her eyes closed. Are you okay? I asked. Andrea wasn't waking up. She can't breathe, yelled Ryan. She needs mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Call Mr. Sunny, I yelled. He's still out there chasing the shark, Michael said. You're going to have to do it, AJ, said Neil, the new kid. Why me? I asked. You do it. No, you. We went back and forth like that for a while, and Andrea was just lying there. Someone was going to have to do it. So I knelt down next to Andrea and tilted her head back, just like Mr. Sunny showed us. Then I pissed her nostril shut. And then I leaned over and put my mouth over hers and blew air into it. Ugh, disgusting. I thought I was going to die. Gulp, 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 Andrea said, and then she spit out some water and opened her eyes. Ooh, Ryan said. AJ and Andrea were kissing. They must be in love. When are you going to get married? Asked Michael. Arlo, Andrea said. You saved my life. I love you. Ugh. I thought you were in love with Mr. Sunny, I asked, backing away from her as fast as I could. That creep, Andrea said as she got up. He's way too old. You're the only man for me, Arlo. Oh, beauty, till now, I never knew that. Andrea was talking that Shakespeare talk, putting her arms all over me. Hey, knock it off, I told her. Oh, Arlo, Arlo, where art thou, Arlo? Will you leave me alone, I said, pushing her away, and quit talking that Shakespeare talk. Good night, sweet prince, Andrea said. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it is morrow. Andrea grabbed me again and leaned over her mouth, was almost touching mine. She puckered up her lips. Ugh, disgusting. Andrea was about to kiss me again. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. I had to think fast. Shark! I yelled. Everybody looked out at the water. It was all exciting. In all the excitement over Andrea's drowning, we had forgotten about Mr. Sunny. Help! Mr. Sunny yelled. Help! Did Mr. Sunny take acting classes? Asked Michael. He's drowning, you fobbing, toad-spotted maggot pie, said Andrea. Oh, snap, Ryan said. She called you a fobbing, toad-spotted magpie. Help, help, cried Mr. Sunny as his head dipped below the water. Gulp, gulp. Mr. Sunny's a lifeguard, said Neil, the new kid. How can he be drowning? Maybe he's not a real lifeguard, I said. Did you ever think of that? Maybe he's a fake lifeguard. Maybe he's kidnapped our real lifeguard and is holding him in the underground jail cell on a secret island. Stuff like that happens all the time, you know. But this is not a good time to discuss whether Mr. Sunny was a real lifeguard or not. I ran to the water, jumped in, and swam out to Mr. Sunny. He was even heavier than Andrea. Somehow I managed to drag him to the beach. He's not breathing, Michael said. Give him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, Arlo, said Ryan. Why do I always have to be the one to do it? I asked. He could die, Arlo, Andrea shouted. So I knelt down next to Mr. Sunny, tilted his head back, pinched his nostrils, then leaned over and put my mouth over his and blew air into it. Ugh, disgusting. I thought I was gonna die. Gulp, gulp, Mr. Sunny said. Then he spit out some water and opened his eyes. Thanks, dude. You saved my life. Ooh, Ryan said. AJ and Mr. Sunny are kissing. They must be in love. When are you going to get married? Asked Michael. Boys are dumbheads, said Andrea. Chapter 13. And the winner is... Hey, look, somebody shouted. The judges for the sandcastle contest is coming. A guy wearing a tuxedo and one of those tall Abraham Lincoln hats was looking at somebody's castle down the beach. He was taking pictures of it and writing on a clipboard. We all ran over to Mr. Sunny. That is awesome, I told Mr. Sunny. You're sure to win the contest, dude. I'm glad I put up this fence so no one could damage my centerpiece," Mr. Sunny said. At that moment, the most amazing thing in the history of the world happened. "Look up at the sky," Andrea shouted. "It's a bird," Michael shouted. "It's a plane," Neil shouted. "No, it's somebody parasailing," I shouted. "It's Mr. Granite," Ryan shouted. Sure enough, that crazy Australian long-distance swimming sand monster zombie guy was flying through the air with a parachute on his back, and a boat in the water pulled him. "He's flying pretty low," Andrea said. "I hope he doesn't get hurt." Mr. Granite flew right over our heads. "Help, help," he shouted. "I can't control this thing." Mr. Granite was swooping back and forth, up and down. It looked like the night he might slam into the beach. "Watch out," somebody yelled. "Run for your lives," shouted Neil, the nude kid. Suddenly, Mr. Granite started dive bombing towards the ground. He was right over our heads. We dived to get out of the way. "Oh no," yelled Mr. Sunny. "It's gonna hit." Mr. Sunny never got a chance to finish his sentence, because at that moment, Mr. Granite landed right on top of Mr. Sunny's sandcastle. Bam! Mr. Granite smashed it. I mean, it was totally flattened. Mr. Sunny's amazing sandcastle looked like a pile of sand again, with a pair of feet sticking out of the top. "Wow," everybody said, which is Mom upside down. It was a real Kodak moment. We got to see it live and in person. "My centerpiece is ruined," Mr. Sunny screamed. "Now I can't go to France to study sand sculpture. My life is over." Mr. Sunny went running down the beach, shouting a bunch of French words and that I didn't understand, and he seemed pretty upset. I can't blame him. I'd be upset too if a shark chased me around and I almost drowned and some nutty parasailer crashed my totally awesome sandcastle. But then stuff like that happens all the time, you know? We were standing in front of Mr. Sunny's pile of sand when the judge with the tall Abraham Lincoln hat came over. "Excuse me," he said. "I heard there's a really amazing sandcastle around here, but I don't see it. Can you tell me where it is?" Chapter 14, the big surprising ending that will completely shock you unless you already guessed it. The judge left and we all helped Mr. Granite crawl out from the sand pile. He brushed off his pants. "Are you okay?" we asked. "Yes, I believe I'm okay," Mr. Granite said. "I certainly am lucky the sandcastle was here to cushion my fall." "Maybe you better go to Australia," I told him. "Mr. Sunny is really mad. He might try to beat you up." "I can't leave," Mr. Granite said. "I need to stay here for at least a year." "Why?" Ryan said. "I got a job in America, mate," he replied. "What do you do?" asked Andrea. "I'm a teacher," Mr. Granite said. "Oh, really?" asked Andrea. "What grade?" "I teach 3rd grade," Mr. Granite said. "Hey, we're going into 3rd grade in September," Michael said. "What school will you be teaching at?" asked Neil. "It's an odd name," Mr. Granite said. "It's called elementary school." "What? That's our school," I said. "You're going to be our teacher?" "Oh, no," we all shouted. Maybe Mr. Granite will be better at teaching than he is at parasailing. Maybe he'll stop popping up in weird places for no reason. Maybe Mr. Sunny will stop talking to sand and learn how to swim. Maybe he'll build a new sandcastle. Maybe Andrea will stop talking that Shakespeare talk. Maybe she'll fall in love with some other lifeguard and stop annoying me. Maybe the shark will come back to try and eat Andrea's pizza in her stomach. Maybe people will stop drowning so I won't have to give them mouth-to-mouth resuscitation anymore. Maybe the guys will stop teasing me about being in love with Andrea. Maybe I'll make it through the rest of the summer without any other weird things happening, but it won't be easy.